Hello and welcome to Banfield. There was something of a political miracle in Florida today as the top Democrat and the rising Republican star put down their political swords and came together to unite the country. Who'd have thunk just a week ago that President Biden and Florida Governor Ron Desantis would stand side by side on an important issue, the welfare of their fellow citizens? But they did today in Fort Myers. The two met with each other and with Florida hurricane victims. They talked to small business owners and they consulted with disaster relief officials. And they didn't just grin and bear it either. They seemed genuinely complimentary of each other. And winning votes did not seem top of mind. Coming together for the sake of our fellow Americans, the helpless victims of a hurricane, did seem top of mind.
We're here today with Governor Desantis and Senator Rubio and Senator Scott and Congressman Donald. You know, today we have one job and only one job, and that's to make sure the people of Florida get everything that they need to fully, thoroughly recover. We're one of the few nations in the world that, on a basis of a crisis we face, we're the only nation that comes out of it better than we went into it. And that's what we're going to do this time around. Come out of it better, because this is the United States of America, and I emphasize united. We've seen extraordinary cooperation at every level of government, as the governor has said, and the cooperation began before the storm hit.
This spirit of cooperation may have caught a lot of people off guard because these two men could be facing off in the presidential election in 2024. But they got past their differences in a time of tragedy. So here's my question. Shouldn't this be the norm? Isn't this what they're supposed to do? Like all the time? One of the president's roles is comforter-in-chief. That's when the president visits a disaster to survey the damage, console the locals, and soothe the nation's soul. It is his job. And it shouldn't matter if the governor or senator or mayor of that place is from a different political party. And the same goes for the leader whose region is in tatters. It is their job to do right by their people. And yet, for some reason, today's interaction still has us all just pleasantly surprised. Here's a news flash. It is not the first time that Biden and DeSantis have had to do this. In June of 2021, they all came together to form a united front after the Surfside building collapse near Miami. 98 people died when that building fell. Biden and DeSantis did the right thing. They got to work and they helped the victims. And if you think back, tragedy has been like kryptonite to politics. In 2013, after Hurricane Sandy, President Obama met with then New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. These photos went viral at the time because people could not believe that a Democratic president and a Republican governor could get along like this. They got along. But partisan hacks took the boots to Chris Christie for daring to come together and hug Obama in the wake of so much death. And people, it wasn't even a hug, it was a handshake. But nevertheless, no good deed goes unpunished. As President George W. Bush frequently found himself in this bipartisan situation. After Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Isabel and the wildfires in California, he worked with Democratic governors, congressmen, and mayors to get the emergency funding where it needed to go. Us. The American people. And if you need any better example of cooperation among the parties, President Bush brought together his own father, Bush 41, and President Clinton, a Democrat, to lead the fundraising efforts after Hurricane Katrina. And I know we all remember how united this country was after 9/11. But is that what it takes to get politicians to do their jobs? Catastrophe? Is tragedy really the only vehicle to bipartisan success in this country? Do we only see what we have in common when images of dead Americans flood our television screens? Is that the only time it's worth the risk to a politician to do right by their people? Folks, we have been sitting on an immigration crisis in this country for decades because the parties can't just drop their BS for the sake of their people. Healthcare in this country is a debacle because politicians just can't stop politicking. Meanwhile, the rest of us out here, we just keep shelling out our taxes and hoping for the best, hoping for progress, hoping for leaders who put Americans first before re-election, fundraising, and partisan tweets. Brian Enton has had a front row seat to the Desantis-Biden meeting today, and he saw and heard up close how these two leaders put the country first today. Parties and races be damned. He's live in Estero, Florida tonight. Brian, I'm kind of worried that this glow, of course, isn't going to last, because it never does. But how are the people of Florida reacting to Biden and DeSantis being together today?
Well, listen, Ashleigh, we are outside a storm shelter tonight. This is an arena behind me outside Fort Myers that is full, almost at capacity, of people who are out of their homes because they've been so badly damaged by the hurricane. Do you really think that any of these people really care about politics right now or want to see the president and the governor not getting along? They've lost everything. They are desperate for help. Many of them were uninsured. They don't have homes to go back to. So right now, you ask them about politics, it's like insulting. It's definitely nice for them to see the governor and the president getting along today. You mentioned it. They were courteous. We saw it all happen in real time. The president actually said that Governor DeSantis did a good job with all of this. And yesterday, when I interviewed Governor DeSantis, he told me that he's asked the federal government for many things since this hurricane hit Florida, and that they have delivered every single time. I said, is there anything else that the federal government could do for you right now? And he said, no, they've delivered on everything. So do I think this is short-lived? You mentioned it. Absolutely. They're going to start fighting again soon, but it's certainly nice to see this in the moment right now.
Yeah, and you know what? I just know what's happening out there. The hate tweets, the hate mail, the death threats that are going to both Biden and DeSantis for daring to be friendly to the other guy. Meanwhile, like you said, all those people in that center behind you are on a cot, probably in the same clothes that they escaped their home. So, you know, damn it. It just is just maddening. And then there's this other story that I know you were following today that just sort of got it just got caught in my throat. And it's the notion that a lot of people in Florida thought that they were doing the right thing by putting these big hurricane shutters on their homes, shuttering up the windows, shuttering up the doors. And many of them are newfangled and electronic, which seemed like a good idea at the time. But how did it backfire and what happened?
Yeah, it backfired. We are a week out from when this hurricane hit, Ashleigh, and there are still people trapped in their homes. I don't think people realize that around the country. The search and rescue is still happening every day, and they are still finding people dead and alive. Today, we were told by one of the FEMA crews that they located several different people inside homes that were flooded and destroyed on the first floor. They were up on the second floor. They had the electronic storm shutters that come down, you know, the electric ones, they had them down, but because the power is still out on Fort Myers Beach, they got stuck inside their homes. They had no cell phone service. They were stuck on the second floor for the last week. Finally, many of them were discovered today by the search and rescue crews, and they were alive.
I mean, that is such a terrifying prospect. Honestly, I think, how did nobody think that through? That if you're using those hurricane shutters and you are presumably inside your home, you're more than likely to lose power. And they didn't think of a plan B to open those shutters, to let those people inside out, because those people have been in there without, you know, running water, without proper sewage. They've had no electricity, no phone service. I mean, they're literally in a tomb.
Yeah, it's crazy. And many of these people are elderly. I was told one of the families that was stuck up on the second floor with the mechanical storm shutters that came down, they were in their 80s. It was a husband and wife in their 80s who had been sitting in that house for the last week just waiting to be rescued. Thankfully, they finally got to them and were told they're going to be okay.
Wow. Well, I certainly hope that they're going to find other people. And I just hope tonight that there isn't someone sitting here in that situation right now. That's just awful, just an awful story. Brian, thank you for the work you've been doing. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Ashleigh.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.